Oh, man.
Yeah.
Look at that heavy repeating blaster. Paz Vizsla getting back in it.
Now we're getting more gunplay from the Mandalorians.
Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll. Oh, the armorer's back, handing off the hammer. I love how they just drop from this drop ship, and the armorer clubbing a quarter in the head with the hammer. It's not just for making tools. Babu Frick back in the house.
Yes, a bunch of fricks. House of fricks.
House of fricks. What the frick?
What the
Star
frick?
Destroyer being built. I'm loving this season's gonna be sick.
Yes.
Oh my god. It looks like a Polis Massa type base on an asteroid field. It's his
Oh, is that a Naboo starfighter? Or?
Well, it is his Naboo starfighter. It's been modded, right?
Right.
Oh my god.
Right,
but now he's got another astromech droid back there as baby Grogu just sits in the cockpit with Papa.
My bad.
The ruins of Sundari! Bombed, baby. Why would you go back there? What awaits?
Sabers up, boys and girls and non-binaries. Sabers up for everyone.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. The Mandalorian Season 3 is confirmed to return to the ruins of Sundari, the Mandalorian capital city that we saw bombed in the Book of Boba Fett flashback. Tommy and I were reacting to some footage there that is not official footage that was released. But you know, if you look hard enough, you can find it yourself. We don't encourage it here at New Rockstars, but you know, we've seen it. I think if you're watching this right now, you've seen it yourself. Let's not kid ourselves. But here on the planet of Mandalore, we know the living waters of Mandalore await Din Djarin, and the Armorer is obviously going to play a much bigger role in this coming season. And we're going to learn more about Bo-Katan and her failed leadership of the Mandalorian people. This horribly tragic moment where Rebels ends with her holding up the Darksaber. Our hearts were filled with hope, and then we catch up with her in live action. She's like, that gap on my resume was because I was just finding myself for years.
That's right. That was her. That was her equivalent of the wonderful 2011 meme. Awkward.
You were keeping that meme alive, aren't you?
Awkward.
But like, we want to know why she lost the Darksaber. What really went down? And it seems like there is a reason that will be explored in season 3 of The Mandalorian. So is the Armorer right? Are the Mandalorians cursed? How far back does this curse go? Is it a stain that started with a splash of tar? Vizsla? Thanks, Erik. I forced it.
I loved it.
Well, I love you, Tommy. This is Wookieeleaks. You thought we skipped a week, didn't you? But no, this is our reaction show to the latest in Star Wars, and I'm here with Tommy Bechtold.
Yes.
Tommy B, how you doing?
That's right. Just when you thought we were going to be galactic no-shows, Tommy and Erik are back to stunt on these hoes with all of the greatest Star Wars theorizing. We don't need no stinking show. We don't need an episode drop. We don't need to react to something that just came out. We can talk Star Wars 24/7, 52, 365. That's, you know what? That's all I want to talk about.
It doesn't matter if, Elseworld in the world of nerd, you have things like, mutants existing in the MCU or Love and Thunder establishing that afterlives are a thing. I caught Mephisto. I found him. He's in Sunday's video. No time for that. Westworld is on TV. We have Marvel VFX artists in revolt. Are Marvel fans jumping the ship right now? Well, if you are, jump right onto the SS. Tommy and Erik, because we're talking Star Wars right now. A universe whose cinematic future is in the hands of, god damn it, Taika Waititi. We can't get away from this guy.
And just because the show's called Wookieeleaks, don't worry about the ship. We're airtight.
Yeah. Loose lips sink some ships, but not this one.
Snitches get kisses in our universe.
Our lips are nothing but loose. But Tommy and I are this episode already skewing right off the rails in the opening minutes. What are rails? We don't know. Ships don't abide by roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
That's right.
We never had them. But here this week, Tommy and I are going to discuss the history of the Mandalorian people and why Bo-Katan really failed. Is there a curse to the Mandalorian people? And how correct is the Armorer to be such a superstitious cultist? Before we talk about all that, just a reminder to go to newrockstarsmerch.com to check out all of our great merch options. You know, we got a Ms. Marvel inspired one, Cosmic Daydream. Now that this show established mutants in the MCU, don't you want to mark that historic occasion with a Cosmic Daydream shirt? You can also get our Thor inspired Lace Obsession, Worthy of Love, because you are. You might be. I think we all are worthy of love. Some of you aren't. The 300 of you who quote tweeted my Inhumans versus Mutants tweet with some very vile things about my loose lips in terms of Kevin Feige's anatomy.
Oh my God.
You may not be worthy of love.
No.
You may have proved it
I'll
yourself.
say this: go frick yourself.
Hey,
You think I won't find out where you all live? I'm on the dark web. I've got tracers everywhere. My birds are everywhere. I'm the Lord Varys, complete with no balls. I got nothing better to do than find all of you and hurt you. You better
Tommy,
leave
when they go low, we go high republic.
That's
that
right.
served us well in past election cycles.
Sure.
We fight fire with hugs,
Mhm.
and then we get burned alive when we do so,
Mhm.
and we don't regret it. Hey,
No.
Tommy, what are we talking about this week?
We're going to talk about something. I also, real quick, need to plug that the Break Room is on TikTok now. Follow us at _Break Room, where we will be doing 3 to 4 videos a day as the algorithm demands.
What?
Hopefully. Today's only 2 because I just started the channel today. And that's right, I started the channel. I'm in charge of our TikTok Break Room channel. So if you have stuff you want to see, get at me. I'm going to be interviewing all of our personalities on the Break Room and hopefully getting people like Eric, friends of the Break Room that we treasure so much, to send me in some of their TikTok thoughts as well. Anyway, getting on with the show, as is important to me. Eric, are those Mandalorians cursed?
Are they cursed? Well, Tommy, I mean, I feel like I'm cursed with enthusiasm for this new TikTok.
Yes,
announcement.
me
This
too.
caught me off guard. I tried to go on to TikTok right now, but my phone auto-paired to my headphones, causing the audio from my computer screen that's recording our connection software probably to play through the microphone and really confuse our editor.
No.
Hopefully, we can just edit around that. But I will check out that TikTok later.
Yes.
I can't wait to see it.
Great.
This question of the Mandalorian curse really came back to the character of the armorer. Remember back at the beginning of this year when the Book of Boba Fett was really just a shell, a Russian nesting doll of a show, really just to house another 2 episodes of The Mandalorian and Adventures of Luke Skywalker. But I am obsessed with rewatching this moment with the armorer. And she's talking about the Darksaber. And she said, quote, "It is said one warrior will defeat 20, and the multitudes will fall before it. If, however, it is not won in combat and falls into the hands of the undeserving, it will be a curse unto the nation. Mandalore will be laid to waste, and its people scattered to the 4 winds." We have no idea what the 4 winds are, but I love it. I love it. When TV shows and movies we talk about go into this weird made-up mythology and legend, quoting scripture that we're just kind of picking up pieces of.
Yeah.
I love it.
Doesn't it seem like usually violent, fanatical ideologies, like their excuse for when they don't go right is we're cursed. We were cursed. It's not that our fascism didn't work. It was cursing. We got cursed.
It was a result of no policy decision or no lack of political will. It was a curse.
It was a curse. That's why you've got to vote this year. Reverse the curse.
Vote. Just keep voting. Just keep voting. And if it doesn't work, then just keep on voting.
Can't curse a vote.
He kind of did it with the cadence of Forrest Gump. Like, can't curse a vote. Can't curse a vote.
I was voting.
I may not be a smart man, but I know what a curse is. Just watched that movie recently. Man, that boomer porn holds up as much as it can. But there are problems with that movie.
Yes.
There is a scene where Jenny and Forrest, I don't think Forrest can legally consent in this scene. But things happen. That poor roommate who had to be a witness to it all.
The slow pan down of the roommate back turn, just like, okay.
And I miss this in the dozens of times I've seen Forrest Gump. Forrest goes, "I ruined your roommate's bathrobe." Like, He gets it
Yeah.
all in her bathrobe.
Yeah.
I've never heard that line before. I
Yeah.
turned to Kelly and I'm like, did I never hear that before? She's like, yeah, you didn't know that happened? And I was like, how did I miss that?
You know what? I'm stunned because I don't remember that part either. I think I blocked it out. Or as a young man was so ashamed of my own bathrobes I'd ruined. Anyway.
Well, I think the TNT edit leaves that part out.
Yeah,
they kind
probably.
of cut up that scene. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, getting back to Star Wars, because it's a Star Wars show. I'm sorry, that was my fault.
No, I loved it.
The armor also mentions the songs of eons past. Foretold the mythosar, rising up to herald the new age of Mandalore. Sadly, it only exists in legends. And then she starts to throw some shade at Bo-Katan. She goes, Bo-Katan, it's a cautionary tale. She once laid claim to the rule of Mandalore based purely on blood and the sword you now possess. But it was gifted to her, not won by creed. Bo-Katan Kryze was born of a mighty house, but they lost sight of the way. Her rule ended in tragedy. They lost the way, and we lost our world. Had our sect not been cloistered on the moon of Concordia, we would have not survived the Great Purge. Those born of Mandalore strayed away from the path. Eventually, the Imperial interlopers destroyed all that we knew and loved in the night of 1,000 tears. Only those that walked the way escaped the curse prophesied by the creed. Though our numbers were scattered to the winds, our adherence to the way has preserved our legacy and the generations until we may someday return to our home world. Well, Mando, we know in season 3, will return to that home world and maybe stay away from it. The place looks
a little Chernobyl-y to me.
It's a bit of a mess.
It's a fixer-upper. I think that quote should have ended with, I am the armorer and I approve this message. This message was paid for by Mandalorian cultists.
Yep.
Bo-Katan only got the Darksaber because she had a famous family.
I was thinking this would just play in like a massive auditorium where someone up is at a lectern and it's just like to LRH and they all go to LRH and they just salute Tar Vizsla or something to TV. The TV. This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way. I love that she keeps talking about the way. We've lost the way because we don't follow the way, but the way is there.
I like the references to the way and to the winds, as if like the winds are like the devilish spirit that will throw you off of the way. Like there's this weird metaphorical symbolic path that you can walk. And the winds can blow so mightily, dust in your eyes, that you'll stray off of that path. So the winds, the 4 winds, I'm dying to know what the 4 winds are. You know, like I assume that we'll learn more about these spiritual entities. We know of like, you know, the Mortis realm, right? The whole Mortis arc in Clone Wars. But that was almost like based on Christian theology of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. You had the Father, the Son, the Daughter. Like that, there wasn't a number 4 there, but that was also like kind of Jedi mythology that we were exploring there. Force mythology. The Mandalorian mythology is obviously a different spiritual framework. So I can't wait to learn more of it. But this idea of a curse, I think, comes back from Tar Vizsla. I think Tar Vizsla was really the one who left this curse on the Darksaber. It like in much of legend, weapons often carry some kind of curse for the blood that they've spilled and the division they've caused. And I think in this case, that's the kind of curse that the Mandalorian blade wields, that no one is meant to wield it. And you know, back when we still liked Game of Thrones and it seemed to have some promise as a series, we talked about the Iron Throne. And I really like the idea that the Iron Throne, as a throne made of swords, is cursed. And no one ever should sit on it. That as soon as that Iron Throne was forged by Aegon the Conqueror, that's really a curse that left Westeros, you know, or that was left in Westeros. Something that, you know, I'd love to explore more in like House of the Dragon, right? That takes place thousands or at least hundreds of years after that. So what I want to know about the Darksaber is what this curse is. I think Tar Vizsla, as a Mandalorian Jedi, I think the curse that happened after he died is that there would be this war between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. That there was this perennial division between these two groups of people in Star Wars lore. And that the only way that this curse will be vanquished, is by having a descendant of Tar Vizsla. And I think that descendant is Grogu. I think Grogu is going to be the only other Mandalorian plus Jedi fusion since Tar Vizsla. And then, so I think Grogu is going to be the destined wielder of the Darksaber. and that curse will finally be broken.
I
Uh,
love that.
I hope that we explore this in the Acolyte. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for the Acolyte, and like I don't need any cameos in it, but just some of that lore,
Yes.
like the Jedi.
The cameos can be the cameos can be the legends being explained, not no pun intended, but like rather than a character cameo, perhaps referential cameos of like this concept that has been uttered in a line or sentence in a previous Star Wars property is now being fleshed out. That would be so satisfying, I think.
Yeah, I want like I love that we're hearing about this curse from the perspective of a cult that just happened to survive that purge, you know, just because they were on Concordia at the time. But like the way into a religion, and the fact that even religions have different branches of them, that the most militant, extreme, radical branch of that religion is the one who is now preaching it and speaking on behalf of all of them. Like we are the survivors of it, so listen to us. To me, that is fascinating. To me, I think it is the most interesting thing about The Mandalorian as a series.
Absolutely.
So these living waters, when we watched Boba Fett together, Tommy, like
Yeah.
we talked about the Gaffy tree, this crazy moment where Boba Fett was walking through the desert and we saw crashing waves, and then it was almost kind of like birth imagery. To me, that was like the high watermark of the book of Boba Fett. The fact that Boba Fett revealed, or went into at least a bit more how Tatooine used to be covered in oceans, and that the Tuskens, like many of the native creatures of the planet, might have been aquatic beings at some point, and that's why you see like whale carcasses, I think, in the desert in Obi-Wan. That's like crate dragons might be aquatic. That's why biologically the Sarlacc has etymological connections to other squid beings that we see on Nur. It's because Tatooine used to be an ocean world. I'm rambling here, I know, but I'm just saying that like I think that's what is most interesting about Star Wars right now is exploring more of like the weird sacred religious beliefs that these characters.
Yes, and the ancient topography of these worlds that has changed now due to interlopers and conquerors that have destroyed with their spice mining and their obsession with trade and money. You know,
Yeah. And you kind of are referencing the fact that Star Wars is based so heavily on Frank Herbert's Dune, and that's what Denis Villeneuve in these Dune films definitely has over Star Wars is the fact that it does go deep into spirituality and supernatural phenomena as a religious belief, and how problematic that is, and how political it can get. I mean, I think George Lucas wanted to explore that with the prequels. But he really just kind of explored a more secular approach to political drama and strife, which is fine. I think he was kind of reflecting the world that the prequels came out in, which was the war on terror, the Bush administration, the reinvasion of Iraq, and I think that's what he wanted to reflect. And looking back, I think he made some interesting points. But I think he did miss out on the way culture wars were really happening, the way it was like Christian fundamentalism in America and the West trying to supplant and oppress like Islam, and how much Islamophobia was really coursing through the veins of Americans during that decade, and still to this day does. And I think that's what Frank Herbert had in mind when he was writing Dune, because he could see that that's where things were headed in the mid 20th century. That there was, the fact that all the wars being fought between Israel and Egypt, and terrorism now rising up in the Middle East. I think he could see that there was an additional crusade that was a brewing, and how right he was. So to me, I'm honestly more excited for the future of the Dune verse than I am for the Star Wars verse. I know that's sacrilegious to say.
How could you say that?
Show. I just
Max Rebo, plug your floppy ears. Play a jaunty tune to cleanse us. Isolate that for the TikTok.
Hey, let's restore our hope right now, Tommy. As we look ahead to Star Wars, I think like Marvel right now, I think a lot of Star Wars fans
Mhm.
feel a little lost in the desert, not sure of what the path is, caught up in those four wins. And I think look, I love Taika Waititi. I will watch everything that he does. But coming out of Thor: Love and Thunder, I think there is a backlash to our man Taika Waititi, which might just be the irreverent things the guy is saying in interviews. This is always who Taika Waititi has been.
I think a lot of it is his kind of flippant attitude when he does press that's more like it's tongue in cheek. You never really realize. I also think that he is, and I use the word audacity in my own way, tongue in cheek. He has the audacity to push buttons and like push boundaries in these main, huge franchises that I think make some people uncomfortable, and they have some evolving in their own lives to do before, so they'll just, the backlash. Most of the Taika backlash that I saw almost entirely, this is just my personal experience, originated on Twitter, where backlashes tend to last 24 hours, and then we move on to having a backlash against someone else. And it usually happens when someone has like a 100% approval rating. That's like, someone's got to come in and start planting the seeds of like, no, but this, but this, but this. I didn't think Thor: Love and Thunder was a perfect movie by any means, and I thought at times it was a little bit like it was too heavy on the jokes and not enough on the Thorness. But overall, I thought it was phenomenal. I loved it, and I just think that if you watch his two Thor movies and then any of his other work and think that he wouldn't make a good Star Wars movie, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure. Like, I think he is fine. I think the thing that is making people feel lost in both of these fanships is we don't have Avengers to hang on to. This is all leading to Avengers, and we don't have Skywalker Saga to hang on to. This is all leading to Skywalker Saga. So if you are a person that needs to know where everything is heading, of course this is a frustrating time. But I don't think, you have to remember at the end of the day, these are for-profit movie studios. There is a plan. It is heading somewhere. We just don't know yet. And why not just enjoy the ride? Why not just enjoy these content as they come in? Plus, at the end of the day, Mandalorian Season 3, why Star Wars fans should have hope? Christopher Lloyd is showing up at some point. That's all you got. Christopher Lloyd is going to be in the Star Wars universe. Goodbye. That's all I need.
Who do you think I think he's going to be some like crazy Mandalorian elder who's living amongst those mines. Like he's got a weird little like river steamboat, but he's just like paddling through the living waters. Like
these waters aren't safe for you.
Run for it, Mando! He's going to be great.
He did it! He did it! Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. They should just.
That doesn't give you hope. Yeah. To me, what gives me the most hope is we're talking about cameos. I am okay if we never see like a familiar cameo of something for the next couple years in Star Wars. I think we're good. I think of all these titles, Tommy, as much as I'm excited for like Mandalorian Season 3 and Ahsoka, I think The Acolyte. Is the title on the horizon where I'm like, yes, I cannot wait for that. And you and I were at Star Wars Celebration. And one thing I want to say about Star Wars fans is I know when you just live your life on Twitter or on TikTok or on YouTube, wherever you're at online, it can feel like these fandoms are toxic. And I get it. Every fandom has a certain subset of them that are just going to be really brutal and cruel and cynical. But being in Anaheim amongst Star Wars fans, you don't see any of that. You don't see any of that. You just see a loving group of nerds who are just excited to take part in something together.
And just want to talk about the things they like. It's not a lot of hatred and like there's no focusing on hating things. It's all like, I'm really into this. I'm into droids. I'm into Twi'leks. I'm into Twi'leks. I got a lot of fiction, Twi'lek fiction. The pleasure gardens, the pleasure spas. I love it. But anyway.
Yeah, I know you do. You got to bring me with you on one of those.
You know what? I just say, leave your wallet at home. Just bring cash, because if you go on credit, those Twi'leks, they'll get every last dime from you. Yeah,
that's what they do. But I think like You know, even when you meet these Star Wars fans in person, uh, they, you know, we can talk about things we didn't really like, but even that is done in like a respectful way. They're like, you know what? Like you'll hear people say like prequels, I didn't really dig the prequels, or I didn't really dig the sequel trilogy. But you don't rare it's if anyone were to say out loud, like erase the sequel trilogy from canon, I think you'd get a boo. I think most people would be like, no, let's not do that. Like, I think that is like you wouldn't hear a cheer of a room. Like, even if people kind of also believe or agree that, you know, this you could erase the sequel trilogy from canon and that might be better for Star Wars. I think people all kind of like respect Lucasfilm and respect these artists too much to just like erase the things that they added. I mean, god damn it, I can't believe that people would want to erase some of the dialogue from The Last Jedi. I mean, I get that Canto Bite subplot is weird, but it's just like I love what Luke and Rey and Yoda's Force Ghost go through in The Last Jedi. I love it so much. So I would say what gives me hope for Star Wars are titles like The Acolyte. I can't wait for that. And yeah, I would say and hold on to hope.
Hold on to hope, baby. Hold on for one more day.
We'll leave it there for this episode of Wookieeleaks. Thank you so much for joining us. You can follow me at EA Voss, follow Tommy at Tommy Bechtold, follow New Rockstars, subscribe to Wookieeleaks wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to try to keep up with the breaking Star Wars news as it comes out this summer. Obviously, when Andor comes back, we're going to be covering that a lot as a channel. But for now, we just want to thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
We have spoken.